14 months to the next general election, and comments that border on ethnic incitement, hate speech or ethnic profiling is what we're talking about today. Wakili Nyamori, Hassan Omar is a spokesperson of the UDA party. Whatever he says, it is taken as the party's position. As a member of the UDA party, do you agree with him?
You know, Hassan is not only the Secretary General of my party. Hassan is a friend of mine, and I've known him for a long time. We were with him in students' politics in the late 1990s. And what I know about Hassan is that he takes no prisoners when he knows that he stands on a firm principle. And I have taken time to listen again and again to that clip, and you know, listen to the interpretations that the media and you know, other politicians have given it. And I think that as a country, we have deliberately decided to misinterpret Hassan's remarks and pursue, you know, alternative objectives. Hassan spoke very clearly, and Hassan talked about a problem that is facing this country, that we are a country that, you know, places the foundation of our development on agricultural production. But for agricultural production to happen, we must sort out the long-standing historical injustice on land, because we have, you know, large swaths of land, but that the ordinary people cannot access to engage in productive, you know, agricultural work, because they are owned by absentee landlords, but who are very powerful, that whenever they are called out, they quickly mobilize their ethnic groups against that narrative. The issue is that for the ordinary person to benefit from the land as a factor of production in Kenya, we must alter the land ownership tenure and ensure that we make land in Kenya more economically productive to produce more food, by ensuring that the common person everywhere in Kisumu, in Ganze, in Kiambu, in Kakamega is engaged in agricultural production by making land accessible to them, but at the same time ensuring that the benefit of that production is then redistributed across the country. That is simple economics. That is simple, you know, principles of political economy, and that is something that Hassan has spoken to ever since I knew him in 1998. Now, the challenge is then that Hassan went forward and said that those who have grabbed land from the coastal people, who have then subjugated them and prevented them from benefiting from that land, must be called out, and that they do not belong to leadership. They actually belong to jail, and they are land thieves. Okay, there are people who have kept the coastal people, just as they have kept part of Mount Kenya and Rift Valley hungry for a long time, and in poverty and deprivation, because they are keeping to themselves thousands and thousands of acres of land. And anytime they are called out, then they would find a convenient way of mobilizing politicians and mobilizing their ethnic groups to think that it is the ethnic groups being attacked. So it is not surprising, therefore, that Uhuru Kenyatta chose Kiambu and a delegates conference that involved majorly his ethnic groups to try and then ethnicize what he should have responded to. The questions Hassan asked, that Uhuru Kenyatta should face Kenyans and ask, where did the 85-year-old father of Uhuru Kenyatta work and earn money to buy thousands and thousands of acres in Kwale and other parts of the coast? Why should Uhuru Kenyatta and Uhuru Kenyatta's children and Kenyatta's grandchildren have more right to that land that traditionally and historically belonged to the people of coast, and at the expense of the people of coast who are dying in poverty? Mm-hmm. Why should Hassan, who has just voiced, the concerns of those poor people in the coastal region be called out, and Uhuru Kenyatta is not being called out. And this, what Hassan mentioned did not come from the blues. These things exist in investigations. They exist in reports of various commissions. And therefore, my view is that the country should call out.
We're misreading Hassan Omar.
We are misreading Hassan Omar.
But
Hassan Omar
last week